Hey, everybody, and welcome to Lockdown Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. The Brewers, another great performance from Wade Miley. A solid performance, 6 strong. The Brewers take the opener against the Angels of Anaheim, the LA Angels, the Anaheim Angels, the California Angels. The Brewers win it, and we'll talk about that next coming up here on Lockdown Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. Great to have you along here Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, whenever you're viewing this. I'm talking to you after the Brewers took down the Angels 2-1 in the first of a 3-game set against the visitors from the American League West. And what a performance from Wade Miley. We'll get into that and why every sports bar every bar in the state, in Wisconsin, you shouldn't have to go into any bar and ask to turn on the Brewer game. I'll tell you about that coming up here in a little bit as well. Today's show brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last bit of tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Appreciate everybody who's joining us here on Lockdown Brewers. Normally we're here Monday through Friday, but we're going to do these on weekends as well, Saturdays and Sundays. Brewers play practically every day of the week. So after games, we're going to try to be here even on weekend games. We'll make the weekend versions a little shorter because we know people got some time on their, well, they don't have a lot of time in their hands because you're running around doing stuff that you probably don't want to do, like cleaning up the yard and stuff like that. But if you can give us 10 or 15 minutes on the weekend, I really appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Follow us on YouTube, the YouTube page. You can subscribe. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell there. That's going to alert you every time that we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. Find us on your favorite podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, just to name a few. We are with you every day here on Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. I work for WIBA Radio Madison. Most of you know me throughout the state. I've been doing sports talk shows forever. Been on TV, Channel 4, you name it. I love talking Brewer baseball. They are my favorite professional sports team here in the state of Wisconsin. A team that has let me down a ton, just like you out there. But, that's what we love them. We're right back out there at these games. Tomorrow's Brewer game, Brewers and Angels. Watch them at 6 or listen to them, 6:10, wherever you are in the country. Catch every pitch of Brewers' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Brewers, SiriusXM Brewer Baseball. You get the hometown broadcast. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen to every day, whether you're in a car, you're listening to us on your device at home or wherever you are. Download us on your phone. Appreciate it and love hearing from you. Again, on the Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. And also there's a comment section on YouTube. Love to hear from you all. I've been covering this team for well over 40 years, been through the ups and downs, and let's face it, it's mostly the downs with this Brewer team. But the Brewers did win on Friday night, and they get the job done by the score of 2-1. Rowdy Tellez batted 7th in the order. They moved him down in the order because a left-hander on the mound, Tyler Anderson, and I get that, moved him down, but he had some good at-bats. His RBI single in the 8th inning lifted the Brewers to the 2-1 win. They were a 1-1 tie. He came on against Aaron Loop and had the base hit to right field, scores the RBI. Now, Rowdy, you expect him to, gap one or launch one right there, but a little bleeder, right side, goes in for the base hit. We'll take it, and the Brewers win. This game was won by the pitching staff, Wade Miley. Welcome back, Wade Miley. Where have you been? Okay, 3 years ago, you started your career as a Milwaukee Brewer. Well, you didn't start your career as a Brewer. You started your Brewer career off on a great note. You got off to a really good start of the season. Productive, good in the postseason. So far, these numbers so far for him, through 5 starts, 29 innings pitched, a 1.86 ERA. 5 starts, 29 innings pitched, a 1.86 ERA. That's in his second best start in his career, 2018. He had an ERA of 2.01. But this is Miley's best start. Why do we even ever let him go? Why does he even leave? Because obviously Milwaukee is home to Wade Miley. 6 strong that he gave him on 7 hits. And then Payamps, Strzelecki, and Williams. I kind of like that. Those 3 right there to close me out a game. Payamps, Strzelecki, and Williams. Earlier in the season, yeah, I was a little unsure about Payamps, but I'm beginning to like him more and more. I was watching his first few games with my eyes peering over the coffee table, not knowing what to expect, but I like him. And Strez is great. I love him. And, you're not going to touch Williams. He's having an all-star season, 1, 2, 3 in the 9th inning. Nice play at first base by Luke Voigt to finish off that game. Nice little scoop up and stretch over there. So the Brewers win it, and they hold down the bats of a number of different players for the Angels. Shohei Ohtani making his first AmFam Field / Miller Park appearance, went 0 for 4. Mike Trout went 1 for 4. And those guys, those are 2 of the guys who can do big time damage. One of the best 1-2 punches in baseball. Ohtani and Trout combined for 1 for 8. Hunter Renfroe, who had the 29 homers last year for the Brewers, went 0 for 4 today. And the Brewers take the opener. Willy Adames also homered in this game. He provided the other run for the Brewers. And the Brewers, solid win. 2 in a row now for these guys. Just when you think that they're going to slide in that 3-game skid, they come back, win the final game against Detroit, and take this game against the Angels. We'll tell you about more about that game tomorrow night coming up here in just a bit. Pro Baseball GM is the coolest game I've played in a long time. If you ever thought about being a Major League GM, this is the game you got to check out. You hire the coaches, you hire the staff, you manage the team finances, you scout, you draft the players, you manage through all the difficult personalities. And God knows there's a ton of them in Major League Baseball. Navigate your franchise through free agency and all the ups and downs of a season. You do everything a GM does, and you do it right on this particular game right here, Ultimate Pro Baseball GM. Just mentioned Locked On Brewers and get 100% free boost to your franchise when using the promo code Locked On in the game store. Use the promo code. Make sure to check it out. Go download the game. Visit probaseballgm.com. Scan the code. Look it up in the app stores. That's probaseballgm.com. Ultimate Baseball GM. Start your dynasty today. But then, again, go to Locked On Brewers. Mention Locked On Brewers, and you'll get 100% free boost. And you manage every part of the franchise. You're the GM. You're the manager. You get the job done. Ultimate Baseball GM. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers part of your day every day. That's all I want. That's all we want, because we're the #1 podcast on the internet for Brewers baseball, and we will be here all the time talking Brewers baseball with you. So far, I've through these games so far, there's only one time when I've been just really irate. And that was when Matt Bush blew the game last Sunday, and they gave a 9-run 8th inning. I was losing my mind after that game. Brewers play the Angels again tonight, Saturday night, 6:10 with that first pitch. Catch every pitch of Brewers' hometown broadcast, SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Brewers. All right, let's go to the box score. Let's go to the box score real quickly and tell you who did what. Well, 2 runs. You didn't have a heck of a lot going on for the Brewers tonight, but still pulling out a win. A win is a win. And, they had the right-handed lineup in there today against the lefty, although Yelich did lead off, and he went 1 for 3. Willy Adames 1 for 4 in the home run, struck out twice. William Contreras 1 for 4. By the way, Brewer catchers, saw this little note on the internet. Mike Vassallo, the Brewers media relations director, really good follow. Always comes up with these unique statistics. The Brewers are #1 in the league as far as batting average, and a few offensive departments they're leading in as well. In the catchers department, #1 in the league. They were 25th last year. Let me make sure I got that right in my notes. I wrote that down. Believe they were 25th in the league last year. And once you know it, I cannot find what I did with it. Yep, cannot find it. But they're hitting .315 this year, the catchers, which is the best in baseball. They were one of the worst in baseball last year. So keep that going. So back to the batting average. William Contreras was in the 3-hole, went 1 for 4. Mike Brasso, the cleanup man, not exactly a prototype cleanup hitter, but he went 2 for 4. Blake Perkins got in the game as a pinch runner, did not hit. Brian Anderson went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He came up with runners at first and second in the 8th inning and hit a ground ball to third. It looked like it was going to be a double play ball, but Brian was busting it down first base and beat it out, which allowed Rowdy to come up and get the base hit. Luke Voigt went 0 for 4. Rowdy Tellez went 2 for 3. Owen Miller went 1 for 4. And Joey Weimer, he went 0 for 2. Pitching, Wade Miley, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 Ks, only 2 Ks, 1 earned run. Piamps, an inning on 1 hit. Strzelecki, an inning and 1 hit. And Devin Williams, Mr. Perfect, 3 up, 3 down, and keeping that ERA at 0.00. Oh, one other note, Adrian Houser, he's about ready to come up here. I mean, how many rehab starts can a guy make down in the minors? His 4th rehab start, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. It's time to bring Adrian Houser up to this roster and see what he can do and help some of this pitching out here a little bit, where the Brewers have been hurt in the injury department. So we'll see if he I doubt if he's going to make another rehab start. Again, how many rehab starts can a man make? Today's show is brought to you in part by Gametime. Hey, you need tickets for a game. I told you, I've gone to games where I've gone to the Gametime app, and 2 hours before the game, I found tickets right behind the visiting team's dugout at AmFam Field for like $10. Flash deals. Get those last-minute tickets like I did. Images of seat views, lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection. Also, you got job loss protection as well. Forget months of planning. Gametime has deals on tickets leading right up to the moment of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets, football, baseball, basketball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Great concert going to be coming to the Milwaukee area or great state of Wisconsin or wherever you are. You get them on Gametime. Get images of your seat before you buy so you'll know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You'll know where exactly you're seeing. You'll know you won't have a foul pole right in front of you or not. Download the Gametime app, create the account, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB, $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets guaranteed, lowest price guaranteed. That is Gametime. I was telling you about, went out to dinner tonight, Friday fish fry in Wisconsin. You got to do that, okay? We watched the game, and they had the game on. Volume wasn't down, but I understand that in the bar area. Okay, you don't have to turn the volume on. But by all means, there should not be an establishment, a bar, a sports bar especially. Don't embarrass yourself by doing this and not having the Brewer game on. I shouldn't have to go to the bar and say, oh, can you put the Brewers game on? Not in Wisconsin. That goes for any one of our sports teams. But in the summertime, on a Friday night, when you're going out for fish fry, and the bar I went to did have it on. And if you don't have the volume on, I get that. I get sports bars, you better have the volume of the game on. No need to play some lousy music. You know, if it's REO Speedwagon, that's fine. But don't be playing lousy music in place of the play-by-play. A sports bar should have the volume of the game on. Should. But if you can't, at least don't maybe go up to the front of the bar in a sports bar, especially, and say, hey, can you put the Brewers game on? You know, that's a professional team who we're lucky to have in our state, who we've saved a couple of times from moving. So, yeah, that should never happen. All right, the Brewers and Angels wind up the final game of the series with Reed Detmers on mound for the Angels. Kind of a decent strikeout pitcher. He's 0-1 this year. Pitched well his last time out against the Kansas City Royals, went 5 2/3, gave 7 hits. And not a bad pitcher, left-hander. They're throwing 3 left-handers against the Brewers this weekend. Lefty, 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 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Corbin Burns got into some trouble in his last start, settled down, made it through 5 innings, but he's better than that. 5 innings pitched, 3 runs, all earned in his last start. Corbin Burns on the hill for a 6-10 start. And, of course, the broadcast of the game, you catch every pitch of Brewers' hometown broadcast, Sirius XM on the SXM app, search Brewers. It's going to do it for me. Abbreviated edition I have here on Locked On Brewers. Great to have you along, and a Brewers win, 2-1 over the Angels. We'll talk to you after the second game of the season. I'm going to be out there on Sunday walking around, get there early, go through the Sea League experience, walk around, grab my cow self. My tradition has been grabbing 2 dogs with the stadium sauce. We're sitting on the probably in the club level. I haven't got my tickets yet. I got to go to Gametime and get me some tickets. So we'll see you all on Sunday afternoon, everybody, and right back here. We are your first listen to every day We are Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We're here every day. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.